The Book of Common Prayer is the short title of a number of related prayer books used in the Anglican Communion, as well as by the continuing Anglican, Anglican Realignment, and other Anglican churches. The original book, published in 1549, in the reign of Edward VI, was a product of the English Reformation following the break with Rome. Prayer books, unlike books of prayers, contain the words of structured services of worship. The work of 1549 was the first prayer book to include the complete forms of service for daily and Sunday worship in English. It contained morning prayer, evening prayer, the litany, and Holy Communion, and also the occasional services in full. The orders for baptism, confirmation, marriage, prayers to be said with the sick, and a funeral service. It also set out in full the propers, the collects, and the epistle and gospel readings for the Sunday communion service. Old Testament and New Testament readings for daily prayer were specified in tabular format, as were the psalms and canticles, mostly biblical, that were provided to be said or sung between the readings. It was used only for a few months, as after Edward VI's death in 1553, his half-sister Mary I restored Roman Catholic worship. She herself died in 1558, and in 1559 Elizabeth I reintroduced the 1552 book with a few modifications to make it acceptable to more traditionally minded worshippers. Notably the inclusion of the words of administration from the 1549 communion service alongside those of 1552. In 1604, James I ordered some further changes, the most significant of these being the addition to the Catechism of a section on the sacraments. Following the tumultuous events leading to and including the English Civil War, another major revision was published in 1662. That edition has remained the official prayer book of the Church of England, although in the 21st century, alternative provision under the title Common Worship has largely displaced the Book of Common Prayer at the main Sunday worship service of most English parish churches. A Book of Common Prayer with local variations is used in churches inside and outside the Anglican Communion in over 50 different countries and in over 150 different languages. In many parts of the world, other books have replaced it in regular weekly worship. Traditional English Lutheran, Methodist and Presbyterian prayer books have borrowed from the Book of Common Prayer, and the marriage and burial rites have found their way into those of other denominations and into the English language, like the Authorized King James Bible and the works of Shakespeare. Many words and phrases from the Book of Common Prayer have entered common parlance. Full name. The full name of the 1662 Book of Common Prayer is the Book of Common Prayer and Administration of the Sacraments and Other Rites and Ceremonies of the Church according to the use of the Church of England, together with the Psalter or Psalms of David pointed as they are to be sung or said in churches, and the form and manner of making, ordaining, and consecrating of bishops, priests, and deacons.